Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Dustin Denison coming at you with another lesson on how to drive a stick shift. I'm in the 07 Mazda 6, which is a 4-cylinder, 2.3 liter, 5-speed. The last several videos I've done on this, I have used the 98 Dodge Dakota, which is a V6 3.9 liter 5-speed. Now even though there's a 1.6 liter difference in the size of the engine, it's not astronomically different in the terms of the different speeds in each gear. That truck, I can do about 15 miles an hour, up to 15 miles an hour in first, 25 in second, 35 in third, 45 in fourth, and anything above 45 miles an hour I like to be in fifth gear. This, 0 to 20 in first, 10 to 20 in second, 20 to 30 in third, 30 to 40 in fourth, and anything above 40 miles an hour I like to be in fifth gear. But, there are certain circumstances when you're wanting to skip gears where you're going a little bit faster in each gear, but it just depends. Because I have said this before, when I skip gears in any stick shift vehicle, I don't like to go from like first to third to fifth, or from first to fourth or anything like that. I go first, second, third, fifth, or first, second, fourth, fifth. Those are the 2 ways I skip gears if I do at all. But you didn't watch this to hear about that. You watched this to learn how to drive a stick shift. Now, I'm going to cover this real quick. Part of the reason I keep this series going on my channel, I realize some people have commented saying, I'm making too many videos for this series because it's not that difficult to do this. Part of the reason I keep this series going on my channel is not just because it's something I do on my channel, it's also because I learned how to drive a stick shift primarily through YouTube. So that's why I decided to keep this series going. Without further ado, let's get to it. Right now it's parked, obviously, vehicle's off. Parking brake is up, vehicle's in first gear. If I was on, right now I'm on a flat surface. If I was on a upward angle, parked at an upward angle, then it would be the same thing. Parking brake would be up, vehicle would be in first gear. However, if I was on a downward angle, parked, then the parking brake would be up and the vehicle would be in reverse. Before you take off, I recommend pushing the clutch pedal in and getting used to doing this. Shifting into the different gears. Moving that around. But, again, let's get to the driving portion. Clutch pedal goes in. If you do not push the clutch pedal in, the vehicle won't start. So, clutch pedal goes in, vehicle starts. Before I take my foot off the clutch pedal and I'm going to put it in neutral, which is that, because otherwise it'll jerk and stall. Parking brake goes down, push the clutch pedal in, put it in first gear. I don't take off from second gear. I have for YouTube content, but I don't do that regularly because you have all these gears for a reason. You have first gear for a reason. Use them. Give it a little bit of gas while slowly letting off the clutch, and off we go. Clutch pedal goes in, vehicle goes into second gear. Clutch pedal goes in, vehicle goes into neutral. I push the brake pedal while keeping my foot on the clutch pedal to stop. Give it a little bit of gas. Second. Anytime I want to shift, clutch pedal goes in. I have seen videos and I have seen people not use the clutch pedal to shift because they're able to do it just right. I will never show you how to do that, number one, because I don't know how. Number two, even if I knew how, I wouldn't do that. That's not something. You have a clutch pedal for a reason. Use it. First, second, third. Anytime you want to hit that, anytime you want to shift gears, push that clutch pedal in. There are several ways of slowing down and or stopping an stick shift vehicle as well. One I've been doing is pushing the clutch pedal up, putting the vehicle in neutral, and hitting the brake. That's the most common way, I feel. Second way is a little bit more advanced, and that is to hit the clutch and then the brake pedal. Hit the clutch and then the brake pedal. Or you could simultaneously hit the clutch and brake. It'll give you the same result. And the most advanced, in my opinion, but also my favorite way of slowing down, is to downshift. when I downshift, let's say I'm in this and I'm doing 60 miles an hour in fifth gear. Well, then I would, hold on, sorry, I had to get past a certain thing. I downshifted because the speed limit is now 30 miles an hour. Now, what I was going to say is when I downshift, let's say I'm doing 60 mile an hour in fifth gear. If I wanted to slow down, I would slow down to probably about 55 miles an hour, and then I would push the clutch pedal in, take the shifter from fifth to fourth, and then slow down to probably about 45 miles an hour. Then I put it into third if I wanted to continue slowing down. The same way I took it from fifth to fourth, I would take it from fourth to third. And then if I wanted to continue slowing down, I would slow down to about 35 miles an hour, and I'd downshift into second. And if I felt the inclination, then I would slow down to about 20 miles an hour and put it in first. However, most of the time when I downshift, I usually don't get past third gear. I have been known to downshift into second a time or two, but not very often. And I don't downshift into first, but I have done that for YouTube. Something else I feel you should take into consideration when you downshift is choosing when, watching your surroundings and choosing when to downshift. Because when you downshift, if there's somebody directly behind you, they will not see brake lights and may not realize you're slowing down. I realize they need to be aware as well, but to be courteous, I try not to downshift if somebody's right behind me. Third, fourth. Just common courtesy. I don't like to downshift if somebody's right behind me, because if they don't realize I'm slowing down, they may rear end me, and I'd rather not risk it. If you haven't already and got to this point in the video, please hit that subscribe button for more content. Anybody that watches my channel consistently knows I upload several times a day. Most of it's YouTube shorts, dog and cat videos. I try to do a video on this type of content, how to drive a stick shift, once a week. And I also go to Highsmith Guns. I've been going there once a week for quite a while. Just trying to, upload as much as I can, get the channel to grow. And if I eventually get to the point where I'm monetized to the point where I'm able to pour thousands to maybe even millions of dollars into the channel, great. But if I never get to that point, I'm still doing this. I made the channel to have fun, and I'm having a blast doing this, and that's why I'm even more grateful that my channel has grown as much as it has. It was November of last year when I hit 1,000, and last time I looked, I was well over 6,700. Here in a moment, when I take off from this intersection, I'm going to show you how to skip gears. That's the circumstance in which the RPMs will go a little bit higher than normal, and the speed will be a little bit higher in the gear. Explain that to you in a minute. Second, speed all the way up to 30 miles an hour, directly into fourth, and I have successfully skipped third gear. The other way I do that is I go first, second, third, fifth. I don't know if I'll get to that in this video or not. Now here's what I was going to say. The RPMs. This vehicle has a gauge for the RPMs. I like to shift no lower than 2,000 and no higher than 3,000 RPMs. However, when you skip gears like that, your RPMs are going to get a little bit higher than normal. It's okay because you're skipping gears. As long as you don't do that regularly, it's not a problem. And also, when you skip gears, your speed it goes a little bit higher. Like I said earlier at the beginning, I like to do 0 to 10 in first, 10 to 20 in second, 20 to 30 in third, so on and so forth. Well, there I sped up to 30 miles an hour in second gear and then shifted directly into fourth. That was a circumstance in which the speed was going to go a little bit higher. The RPMs were going to go a little bit higher. It happens. Now, in the 98 Dodge Dakota I spoke of earlier, and is on my channel, and I've shown you how to drive a stick shift in that as well multiple times. That does not have a gauge for the RPMs. That has a little light that flickers or that blinks when it's okay to shift. I just know how to drive a stick shift though well enough to know how to drive that. And comfortably, I can do 15 miles an hour in first gear, 25 in second, 35 in third, 45 in fourth, so on and so forth. The reason I don't skip gears regularly is because, for the same reason I don't take off from second gear, even though I've been told that's okay to do, and for the same reason that I don't go from first to third to fifth, or second to fifth, or first to fourth, or anything like that, is just you have a clutch pedal. For the same reason I also use the clutch pedal every time I shift, even though I've seen videos where people don't do that. You have, in any stick shift vehicle, you have a clutch pedal and a shifter, and however many gears are in that shifter, for a reason, use them. Sorry for the lack of talking, but I'm doing about 55 mile an hour on a somewhat busy road right now, and so I'm trying to stay focused on that. Something else I was going to recommend, I've said this multiple times in my previous videos, some of my previous videos, not all of them. When you're just learning how to drive a stick shift, my recommendation is to practice in a parking lot. That's how I learned. Well, that's how I got hands-on experience on how to drive a stick shift. Because in a parking lot, you can practice taking off, obviously. When I say, the way I drive a stick shift taking off is I give it a little bit of gas while slowly letting off the clutch. Some people just say, well, all you have to do is slowly let off the clutch pedal. Depends. I mean, if I'm facing downwards when I'm taking off, I don't worry about giving it a little bit of gas. The momentum will do it for me. But if I'm on an upward angle, then I give it a little bit of gas while letting out the clutch pedal, because otherwise it's going to stall. It's probably going to stall out. If I'm on a flat surface, again, I give it a little bit of gas. I'm not saying gun it. I'm not saying floor it. I'm not saying jack your RPMs all the way up to like 4,000 or whatever while you're sitting still. I'm saying give it a tiny little bit of gas while slowly letting off the clutch pedal. But practice in a parking lot, because not only can you practice taking off in a stick shift, but also you can practice shifting, because in a parking lot you can get up to about 15, 20 miles an hour depending on the size of the parking lot. Go to a big, decent enough sized parking lot and practice taking off, practice shifting from first to second gear, maybe even practice downshifting from second to first, but I didn't practice that. When I first started out, I practiced in a parking lot. I took off from a parking spot in a 99 Honda Accord that I had at the time. It was my first ever stick shift vehicle, and practiced taking off. I practiced shifting, practiced turning, practiced, just getting used to it. I'm slowing down now, so that's why I put it in neutral. Another reason why it's good to know the speeds in which you can obtain comfortably in each gear. So when you're in a situation like this where you're in neutral, I slowed down to about 25 miles an hour, and I shifted into third, now fourth. Just realized I could use that opportunity to go from third to fifth, but there's a vehicle in front of me that wasn't exactly going very fast, so I was like, I'm just going to shift regularly. But it's good to know what speeds you can comfortably obtain in each gear for that particular reason. When you're coasting in traffic or something like that, and somebody may turn off and there still be a vehicle in front of you, and they start to go a bit faster, and you look down, let's say you're doing 30 miles an hour or 35 or 20 miles an hour, whatever, if you know what speed you can comfortably be in each gear, you can just shift into the appropriate gear rather than being like, oh crap, what do I do? And when you first take to the open road, the way I wanted to do it when I took to the open road, I wanted to go to a more back road area, but unfortunately I was on the outskirts of a town instead of, I was around some back roads, but I wasn't on back roads. While in a turn, you can also shift into second gear because 10 to 20 miles an hour is a comfortable turning speed. Third, I'm going to speed all the way up to 40 miles an hour and shift directly into fifth gear. And those are the two ways I skip gears. Like I said, first, second, third, fifth, or first, second, fourth, fifth. I have done first to third to fifth for YouTube, and I have taken off from second gear and gone directly into fourth gear for YouTube, but I don't like to do that very often, if at all. I'm coasting, that's why it's in neutral. I'm going to turn around, and then I'm going to speed up to fifth gear, and then I'm going to show you guys how to downshift. And that's going to do it. I'm on a downward angle. I'm in reverse now. Give it a little bit of gas because I'm on a downward angle to back up. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. I'm going to speed all the way up to about 50 miles an hour, and I'm going to downshift back into fourth. 50, fourth gear, vehicle slows down by itself. Get down to about 45, downshift into third. Vehicle slowing down by itself. I'm going to downshift I'm going to let it go down to about 30 miles an hour, which is what it's at now. Downshift into second. Now, 20 miles an hour, first. Second. Third. Neutral. And that'll do it. I'm going to come to a stop before turning the camera off. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, and I will talk to everyone very soon.